Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Um, where do I start? I suppose I'll start with the most important thing, and that is Mandy's back in hospital, sadly. Forgive me if I sound rough and look dishevelled, but it's been a tough week. So I'll start with the important bit. Obviously, yeah, Mandy's been back in hospital for a week now. She was rushed into hospital on Monday. Today's Friday, the 26th. And it looks like she's got sepsis. At least that's what the hospital are saying so far. She's stable on lots of meds, but generally she was taken in with crazy high temperatures, and she was losing her balance, just generally not well. She hadn't eaten for a couple of days, couldn't keep anything down, and had absolutely crazy sort of pains throughout her body. And to anybody that doesn't know Mandy, everyone that does will know that she's got quite a high pain threshold. So if you don't know Mandy, this is very abnormal. Going through her cancer treatment, the doctors and nurses were very surprised at her pain threshold and everything that she's been through and things like that. So to see her in the state she was, it was quite distressing, to be fair. So yeah, 4 days now in hospital, 2 days in the A&E ward while they stabilised her, and then she's been moved around different wards while they just still try and work out what the heck is wrong with her. So far, the sort of judgment that several doctors have come to after some tests and things like that is that she's got sepsis. She's got a raging infection, and her white blood cell count, I think it was like 16,000 or something like that, which is crazy high. On the plus side, that does mean that her white blood cells are able to fight an infection, which is quite good considering the chemo and radiotherapy and everything she's had. We've been keeping ourselves to ourselves. We've not really come into contact with other people. And if we have sort of been around other people, it's been outside, outdoors. Mandy's been wearing a mask as well. So we don't think it's an infection like she's caught cold. It's not COVID or anything like that. They think it's something to do with what's been, part of the treatment or something like that's been going on. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Like I say, the hospital that we're at now are doing every test, and really looking after her. Like I say, she's in a stable condition right now. Lots of pain meds, lots of IV drips. She's not been allowed to eat or drink for a few days at least. I think it's 4 days, 3 or 4 days, while they understand what's going on, and obviously they can then hold back the option of surgery if they know that she's not eaten or drunk anything. So that's been pretty tough as well. But like I say, they've been giving her lots of IV drips. So she's okay, they're looking after her. She's on oxygen as well because she's struggling to breathe. Again, because some of the pains that she's got in her chest, which they're saying are actually sort of pains that are radiating from the stress in her body from the other pains. So it's not like there's anything wrong with the chest. It's just that because she's so under so much stress because of the other pain, that's radiating up. So it's not a concern, they're saying, about her chest pain and inability to breathe normally without oxygen. But they did notice on a lot of the tests that they've done that she needed extra oxygen. So that's why they've done that. So that's not a sort of major cause concern. But let's step back. The last time we saw you was sort of late on in June. And since then, Mandy's finished her cancer treatment, so she finished her radiotherapy. I think that was on the day we saw you, actually, or a few days after we saw you in our last video. Since then, she had something called brachytherapy, which is where, without being sort of too graphical, but radioactive rods are placed inside her to treat her cancer, cervical cancer. There was a complication about that as well. When isn't there complications this year? And the complication was that she just had to have 2 of those treatments in succession to keep up the treatment schedule that had been set. So there was a lot of stays in hospital early on in July. And then again, I think that was around about the 6th or 8th of July that she was given a final brachytherapy. She rang the bell to say, treatment's finished. She did have lots of thoughts about ringing that bell and whether she should or not. But it is generally ringing the bell for end of treatment, not like cured of cancer, because they don't essentially cure of cancer right now. I think the general sort of like cancer care in the UK is to keep the cancer under control, if you like, or in remission, rather than claim they cure you of cancer. So nevertheless, she rang the bell, and we then sort of spent some time just relaxing. She was told that it would take around about 2 weeks after the final bit of radiotherapy / brachytherapy, and in those 2 weeks her body would generally feel worse to a point, whilst all that treatment sort of still carried on working inside her. But after that, she should start feeling better. That was what the hospital said. And for the 2 weeks after the brachytherapy, she did indeed feel a lot worse. And the hospital, she was on the phone to them quite a lot. The hospital, did a few little things, said, oh, you could try this, try that, gave her some pain meds. The local doctor issued some pain meds and also antibiotics because she thought she had an infection. But then the doctor came back after Mandy gave some samples. The doctor came back and said that the test results had shown that there wasn't an actual infection in there, so she didn't need to take the antibiotics. We've then had another sort of week of trying to travel, because our plan was to come to Cornwall, which is where we are now, to see Tash and John, to help them out with, as we explained in the last video, John had got leukemia. Just one day he was okay, next day he was really ill, taken to hospital, and again they sort of did a miraculous job for helping him, because again he was really ill. But under that investigation of working out why he was really ill, they found out he had leukemia. So we came here to help them. Ironically, now John's okay. We're at the same campsite as John and Tash. Mandy's now in the same hospital as John was in. So, yeah, complete circle of irony in the fact that now John and Tash are asking us if we need anything doing every day, and yeah, we're not here to help them as such as they're here to help us. Yeah, you just couldn't make this stuff up, really, could you? But like I say, we've spent a week getting down here very slowly, driving for as little time as possible every day from where we were, so that Mandy wasn't driving for that much time. We travelled down in both vans, and en route we stopped off to see Mandy's family, and also had a couple of days at an air show. Again, just sitting around relaxing, watching planes and things like that. And generally Mandy was getting worse and worse so much so that the last 2 days that we were en route here, we were taking it so easy that we were doing sort of hardly any miles really. And on the day we arrived here on Monday, we had a bit of a catch up with John and Tash. And then Mandy sort of like really started to tank and phoned 111, asked them what to do, and they just said get to A&E. So I took her to A&E, which is, you know, literally where she's been all week. She spent, I think, 2 or 3 days within the A&E ward or the emergency department ward, and then she's been now on 2 other wards while they try and ascertain what's going on. And that's as much as I can tell you, really. Like I say, it's been a bit of a whirlwind of a few weeks since we last saw you. Part euphoria, thinking that the treatment's over and, you know, we can start planning our travels. And certainly in the last week, it's been pretty seriously, you know, considering what our travel future might look like, because they were talking about putting drains in Mandy's chest or stomach or whatever for whatever this thing is inside her, and operations and things like that, which still might be on the cards. Still don't know. So that's where we are, folks. Like I say, Mandy's in a stable condition, in a local hospital. They're looking after her. We're at a campsite with our friends who are looking after me / Mandy as well. And yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, I will update you. I'm editing a few of Mandy's videos for her as well for her channel. So hopefully, you know, if you don't follow our channel or if you follow both or whatever, Mandy's recorded quite a few things, so I'll be editing those videos and putting them on her channel soon. And just to sort of like, you know, add little layers of complexities to our situation right now, on the way down, my van started to present engine problems. That look like it's head gasket, so the engine itself appears to be damaged. I've run some tests on it and it looks like, yeah, I'll need to get my engine repaired before we do anything else. So yeah, it's a bit of yeah, without being crass, it's a crappy situation we're in right now. We need to get Mandy fixed first and get to understand what's going on. And then, you know, once Mandy's healthy and not in any danger and hopefully out of hospital and all that kind of stuff, then I need to assess what's going on with my van's engine, which probably means that it needs to go in for a while to have the engine taken out, repaired and put back in again. And yeah, hopefully then we can get back on the road and do this thing called van life. So yeah, sorry it's not been a really great video, folks. I know that the last time we spoke to you in our last video said, you know, this time that by this time we would be back on the road traveling and probably in Ireland, and that's just not going to be the case, folks, unfortunately. For now, we don't know what's going on, just to be honest with you, to set expectations up on that. And yeah, I shall let you know as and when we know anything real major. Obviously, if you follow Mandy's channel, you can keep up to date with what's going on. Although neither of us has recorded anything apart from this video. We haven't recorded anything in the last week because yeah, generally it's just not been a priority. Just struggling to get some sleep and understanding of what's going on has been priority. So I hope you can understand. And if and when there is big news and, you know, positive news, then we'll come and let you know. But for now, thoughts are with Mandy. She's been through a heck of a lot this year and didn't need this. But like I say, she's a tough one and yeah, she'll get through it. So there we go. Right then. Thanks for watching the update, folks, and yeah, we shall see you very soon, hopefully. Take care. Bye for now.